Welcome to Critical Health News' weekly video Bright Bite with pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
I've been doing this healing thing, working as a pharmacist and as a healthcare professional now for 32 years, and there's certain truths that I've come up with that are true in the case of all degenerative disease. One of the most fundamental ideas is the fact that what you're diagnosed with is not the problem in terms of reversing your health issue. Diagnoses, medical diagnoses, are conveniences that doctors use to explain symptomology. And we get obsessed with symptomology and end up marginalizing or being dismissive of causes. In other words, we have a pharmaco-medical model that treats symptoms as if they were the diseases. That treats symptoms as if those were the problems. The symptom may be problematic in terms of how you live your life, but as far as reversing the symptomology, your diagnosis doesn't matter. The breakdowns in the body are always generic. And whether it shows up as osteoporosis or autoimmune disease or skin diseases or cancer, you're always going to see the same things underneath or behind all the various symptomologies that are associated with these different diagnoses. And if you want to reverse the disease state, it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is, and it doesn't even matter what the symptomology is. What matters is the cause. If you have a tree that is producing rotten fruit or moldy leaves, you don't spray the leaves. You don't correct the problem at the level of the fruit or the leaf. You correct the problem at the level of the soil. It doesn't matter what the specific shape of the fungus is on the leaf. It doesn't matter what the specific type of mold is on the fruit. What matters is why is that tree not producing healthy fruit? What is blocking the nutrients or the energy from the soil to the tree? What's wrong with the soil? What's wrong with the roots? You follow what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter what your diagnosis is. What matters is what's underneath. And this is such good news because it simplifies the entire reversal process when it comes to degenerative disease. Now, we talked about dirty blood. There's no degenerative disease without dirty blood. In fact, that is a direct cause. Dirty blood is like dirty soil. Dirty blood is like bad dirt for a tree. Dirty blood to the body is like filthy or polluted or somehow dysfunctional soil is to a tree. So if you have a problem with your fruit and a problem with your leaves in your garden, you work on the soil. Likewise, if you have a problem in the body that's showing up on the skin or it's showing up in the bones or it's showing up anywhere else, you work on the blood. And this is so easy because the only way anything gets into the blood to pollute it is through the digestive system. This is compounded by a lack of oxygen and a lack of nutrition. So between patching up the gut, cleaning out the blood, using nutritional supplementation, making sure you're oxygenating, and by the way, when it comes to cleaning out the blood, sugar counts as a major blood toxin, so reducing blood sugar, you have your major strategy for reversing all degenerative diseases, whatever the diagnosis. You don't need a diagnosis to correct your disease state.
And even if you don't have a diagnosis,
if you don't have a diagnosis, you still do the same thing.
You still do the same thing, right?
You still do the same things. Our diseases are generic. It's almost like we become attached to our diseases. We have foundations, and we wear hats, and we wear little T-shirts, and we have races and runs and picnics and bake sales for the different diseases, and we become associated with our diseases. We like our diseases. We become branded by our diseases. But from a reversal process to restore the body to its state of good health, you want to clean the blood. It's really as simple as that. I always say on my program, all diseases cell disease, but all cell disease is associated with dirty blood. So cleaning the blood is a function of correcting as long as you're not doing, you're an IV drug user, you're injecting things through the blood, the major source of dirty blood is going to be food. So making better food choices, correcting any problems that you have with the digestive system, using things that coat and soothe and stimulate recovery of the digestive tract, aloe, noni, mucilaginous or gummy substances like are found in cartilage, bone soup, for example, is a wonderful digestive system supporting food. Using glutamine supplements, using liquid nutrition, Probiotics, of course, digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar after all your meals. There's wonderful digestive health strategies you can use. Do a food diary, eliminate problem foods. Gluten, of course, is a big problem for a lot of people, but so are all grains. Cereals, bread, starches, these can be major problematic foods. Stabilizing the blood sugar, restricting your intake of sweets. This has a major effect on the blood, number one. Sugar has a major effect on the blood. And what's more, sometimes sugars are hard to process by the digestive system, and you end up with changes in your gut flora and your bacteria because of the sugars that you're eating, and that compounds digestive health issues. So keeping your sugar intake down and using nutrients to help your body process sugar. We've talked about many of these. The B complex, selenium, sulfur, MSM sulfur, essential fatty acids, electrolytes, the amino acid taurine, the amino acid arginine, all of these have wonderful sugar metabolizing properties. Of course, chromium, vanadium, that goes without saying. Niacin also is important for sugar metabolism. And then oxygenation, making sure your blood is oxygenated, deep breathing. And that means inhaling oxygen as well as exhaling carbon dioxide. You know, a lot of times we think about breathing, the oxygenation process, that's easy to understand, but sometimes we forget that blowing off carbon dioxide and blowing off toxicity in the exhalation process is just as important. In fact, that's really where the body does its relaxation, is in the exhale. So making sure you're breathing correctly, and then moving your body, moving the lymph, making sure your lymphatic system and the blood circulation is moving by getting on a rebounder, brisk walking, etc. This is a protocol for every single chronic degenerative disease you can name. And of course, a good nutritional supplement program, that's always a must. And then also mental and emotional strategies. Using mental techniques, mind techniques, visualization techniques, something as simple as love and forgiveness versus anger and rage. You know, anger is a disguised form of fear, and fear shuts down the immune system.
Isn't there so much of that in the medical model where the diagnosis is like
they curse us. It's like you have cancer. It's a curse. It's a curse. You have this. You know, one of the things you never want to do is say, I am a diabetic. I am depressed. I am sick. You know, after you say I am, you want to be very careful what that next word is, because you're identifying that way. So using mental and emotional strategies is also important. Of course, spiritual strategies go without saying. So here's the deal. This is for all chronic degenerative diseases, and it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. We're talking osteoporosis and arthritis and autoimmune disease and diabetes and cancer and skin issues, whatever. We want to simplify the healing process, and that gives us power and gives us control.